Welcome to Inspired Nonprofit Leadership, where you'll hear insights and useful strategies, as well as lessons learned from other nonprofit leaders and valuable tips from a variety of experts. Here to help you with the challenges and opportunities you face day after day is your host and nonprofit leadership expert, Sarah Olivieri.
So, today, what I want to talk to you about is a theme around strategy and projects and give you some great strategy nuggets. When I talk about strategy, I always think about strategy and execution because let's just like take a big step back for a second, right? What is strategy? Strategy means you have goals and you have these things called tactics, which are the things you're doing to achieve your goals. Now, in the impact method, we go way deeper into this process of exactly how to do that so that you set the right goals in the right way. But base level strategy means you have goals and you have tactics about how to achieve those goals. So, what's the point of doing any of that if you aren't going to execute on them? So, whenever I think about strategy, I'm also thinking about executing and how we execute in our daily life. So, today I have three golden nuggets for you to implement right away into your nonprofit or impact oriented business. Nugget number one is that sometimes choosing to do less can actually get you accomplishing more. So, to this week, one of my thrivers, they had several weeks ago decided to put on an event, which seemed kind of like maybe it would be a small event, but they were going to invite their champions, people who already love their organization, are big fans, as well as would be champions, people who they hoped would become big fans. And what they realized kind of at the last minute, less than 2 weeks before the event, is that having an event for would-be champions is a lot more involved and has a lot less room for mistakes than holding an event for just the champions. Now, they're hoping to really solidify and build a much closer community of supporters for their organization with this event, and what they decided to do in doing less was to not invite the would-be champions this time and just hold a really nice event for their current champion. And I think this is going to work out wonderfully for achieving their goal. So actually by doing less, inviting fewer people, I bet they're much more likely to turn those individual champions into a community of champions because they're going to get to know each other and hang out with each other. And all this great synergy is going to come around by being together. So, nugget number one, sometimes choosing to do less can get you accomplishing more. Ready for nugget number two? Nugget number two is just because you come up with a new project, you hear a new idea, and you're like, oh my God, we have to do that project, doesn't mean you should add it to your task list right now. In fact, I say that only projects that come from your strategic goals should make it eventually onto your task list. So next time you hear the new thing that's going to make your organization or your business better, please, please, please don't add it to your task list right now. Go back to your strategy or just put that idea on an ideas board for now so that when you do your strategic planning, you're doing that, right? For profits and nonprofits, you should be doing strategic planning on the regular, right? In the impact method, we're doing strategic planning every 2 months. That's right. Not even quarterly, every 2 months, we're looking at our strategy and making updates and refinement. So, whenever you look at your strategy, and if you're not looking at your strategy or you don't have one, please reach out. Send me an email, sarah@pivotground.com. I'll point you in the right direction towards getting a strategy. Or if you want to just use the impact method, go to pivotground.com/application, application, pivotground.com/application. I'll put it in the comments. And you can learn the whole impact method. But in any case, go to your strategy, look at your goals, say, which goal does this project help us achieve? and add that project to that goal and then plan it into your workload or your team's workload as it makes sense with priority and the rest of your goals, right? So please go back to your strategy when you get a new project and make it fit in there. What happens if your new project doesn't fit with any of your strategic goals? Well, now you have to ask myself, is this a project that we really shouldn't be doing? Or are we missing an important strategic goal here, right? So pick one of those two directions to take. If it's not really going to meet a goal and there's a goal you should add, then you need to say, that was a wonderful, fun sounding project, but it's not for us. Okay. And if you are missing a strategic goal, then do all the proper steps you usually do when creating your strategy to make sure that you have the right strategic goal and a set of tactics that are likely to achieve that goal. Nugget number 3. Am I holding up 3 fingers? Yes, I am. Nugget number 3 is that when things are feeling unknown and overwhelming, the best thing you can do, the best decision you can make is just to keep moving forward. And really, forward is relative in this case. Any change will be an improvement to your current situation. When things are scary and there are a lot of unknowns or overwhelming, our tendency is we want to just curl up and stay still and do nothing because we're afraid of making mistakes, right? But this is actually the biggest mistake we could be making. And here's why this works. I'm sure you want to know. So when you decide to make a change, decide to take a step forward, decide to try the next thing or keep trying the thing you were trying before, anything whatsoever, you're going to kind of create some amount of data. You're going to get some new information, right? Imagine, a totally flat water, right? You're just looking at a lake and it's hard to, know what's going on. As soon as you make any movement in that water, all these ripples are going to appear. And that's going to give you information about where the edge of the water is, all sorts of things. So in your case, make a change, take a step forward when you're feeling like there are a lot of unknowns, and then notice what happens. Look around. Like what did I learn from the change, right? So when you do this, now that you have more information, and you may have some hindsight too, right? Hindsight is great data. Take that new information. You're probably going to feel a little less overwhelmed. Not everything is going to be unknown, and make your next step forward. And as you do that, if you are watching what changes when you change, right? You're gathering new data. What's going to happen is you're going to find yourself on this cycle where you are with each step, you're gaining clarity and you're gaining confidence, and then more clarity and more confidence and more step forward till before you know, you are on track momentum to wild, wild, amazing success. So nugget number 3, when there are a lot of unknowns and things are overwhelming, the worst thing you could do is nothing. And the best thing you can do is any step forward and then notice what's going on. I'd love to hear which one of these nuggets, if not all 3, you are going to implement, and I will see you next time.
You've been listening to Inspired Nonprofit Leadership. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode or the bonus episodes. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share with your friends and colleagues. Tune in every week for more useful insights and wisdom on nonprofit leadership. Thanks so much for all you do for the communities you serve. Until next time, all the best.